After my divorce, I became homeless. I slept under a bus stop with one bag. 7 years ago, my husband threw me out and called me nothing. He said I'd beg him one day. Then I met him again, rich, smiling, looking down at me. That's when a stranger asked, "Are you Sophia Reed?" and said, "You just inherited $47 million. Sophia slept under the bus stop near the Old Town Road, where the paint was peeling and the bench was cracked down the middle. At night, the wind cut through her thin jacket like a blade. She used cardboard to block the cold, but it never worked. Her back ached. Her hands were dry and shaking. Beside her was one small bag, everything she owned now. 7 years ago, she had slept in a soft bed. 7 years ago, she had a home with white walls, warm light, and a kitchen that smelled like coffee in the morning. 7 years ago, she was a wife. Now, she woke up before sunrise because the noise of buses and footsteps never stopped. Her stomach hurt from hunger, but she ignored it. Hunger had become normal. That morning, she washed her face in a public restroom and looked at herself in the mirror. Her hair was dull. Her eyes looked older than her age. She barely recognized the woman staring back. She walked into town to ask for day work. Maybe someone needed help cleaning. Maybe lifting boxes. Anything for a few dollars. The streets were wet from last night's rain. The air smelled like bread and damp stone. People walked past her quickly, avoiding her eyes. Some pretended to check their phones. Others crossed the street. Near the bakery, she stopped. A black car was parked at the curb. Polished. Expensive. Out of place in this small town. And beside it stood Daniel. Her heart dropped so hard it felt like it hit the ground. Her ex-husband. He looked almost the same, yet not. His hair was touched with grey, but his suit was sharp. His shoes were clean. He smelled like cologne and money. He looked like someone who had never slept under a bus stop. For a second, Sophia thought she was imagining him. Then his eyes met hers. They widened. "Sophia," he said, half shocked, half amused. "Is that really you?" She froze. Her hands curled into her sleeves. She felt small. Exposed. "Hi, Daniel," she said quietly. They stood there in silence. The sound of traffic filled the space between them. The town suddenly felt too small, like it was trapping them inside their past. He looked her up and down, not trying to hide it. His lips curved into a smile, but it wasn't kind. "I heard you disappeared after the divorce," he said. "Guess the rumors were true." She didn't answer. 7 years ago, he had thrown her out with one suitcase. 7 years ago, he had called her useless. He had said she would beg him one day. She didn't beg now. She just felt tired. So deeply tired. Before he could speak again, footsteps approached. A man in a dark suit walked toward them from across the street. He looked serious. Professional. "Excuse me," the man said gently, looking only at her. "Are you Sophia Reed?" Daniel frowned. "Who's asking?" Sophia swallowed and nodded. "Yes, I'm Sophia." The man exhaled, like he had finally found something lost. "You've been very hard to find," he said. "Please, we need to talk." Daniel laughed under his breath. Sophia didn't know why, but a strange feeling moved in her chest. Something was about to change. Daniel let out a short laugh, the kind he used when he wanted to feel in control. "This is funny," he said, looking at the man in the suit. "Debt collectors are getting creative these days." The man didn't smile. He didn't even look at Daniel. "May I speak with you privately, Ms. Reed?" he asked Sophia. Daniel stepped closer, his voice sharper now. "She doesn't need private talks. I'm her ex-husband." The word ex hung in the air. Sophia felt her chest tighten. 4 years, Daniel's voice had decided everything. Where she went, what she said, when she stayed silent. Her body remembered that fear before her mind did. "I'm fine," she said quietly, though her hands were shaking. The man nodded and opened his leather folder. The papers inside were neat, heavy, official. "Your grandmother, Eleanor Reed, passed away last month," he said. Sophia frowned. "That's not possible. She died when I was young." "She raised you," the man said gently. "But she kept certain things private. Very private." Daniel crossed his arms. "Look, this is a mistake. She's homeless. She doesn't have a grandmother with secrets. Sophia ignored him. Her ears were ringing. Her grandmother's face flashed in her mind. Soft hands, tired eyes, the way she used to say, "No matter what happens, you are not alone." She owned property and investments overseas, the man continued. She watched your life from a distance. Sophia shook her head slowly. If she was alive, why didn't she come to me? The man paused. Because she knew you were being watched too. Daniel stiffened. What does that mean? Sophia's heart began to race. Memories pushed forward. Daniel reading her messages, controlling her calls, accusing her of lies she never told. 7 years ago. She saw it clearly now. The night she came home shaking. The test in her hand. The truth she tried to tell. "I'm pregnant," she had said back then. Daniel had laughed. Then shouted. Then accused her of cheating. He never asked questions. Never listened. He just told her to leave. "Get out," his voice echoed in her head. "Don't come back." The man flipped another page. Your grandmother sent letters. Many of them. But she stopped when she realized contact could put you in danger. Daniel's jaw tightened. This is insane. Sophia finally looked at him. Really looked. His confidence was cracking. His eyes avoided hers. "Why are you shaking?" she asked softly. He didn't answer. The man closed the folder. "There is more, Ms. Reed. But this isn't the street to discuss it." Sophia felt something shift inside her. For the first time in years, she wasn't shrinking. She wasn't apologizing. Daniel leaned closer to her. His voice dropped. "Sophia, whatever this is, don't embarrass yourself." She remembered another moment, packing her suitcase while he watched. Silent. Cold. She took a slow breath. "Embarrassment is over," she said. The man nodded. "Your grandmother left a message. She knew everything." Daniel's face went pale. And in that moment, Sophia understood. Whatever was coming next would change everything. The man in the suit spoke slowly, as if each word carried weight. "She knew your husband forced you to leave," he said. "She knew you were pregnant when it happened." The street noise faded for Sophia. Her ears rang. Her chest felt tight, but not with fear, with something close to relief. Daniel's face lost all color. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. "That's a lie," he finally said, but his voice was weak. The man shook his head. "Your grandmother documented everything. Messages, dates, even medical records." Sophia's hands trembled. 7 years. 7 years of silence, shame, and pain, and someone had known the truth all along. "She protected you," the man continued. "She arranged care in secret. She made sure the child was safe." Daniel took a step back. "Child?" he whispered. Sophia looked at him. Really looked at him. "Our son is alive," she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned. "And he doesn't know you." Daniel's knees seemed to soften. "You lied to me," he said, desperate now. "No," Sophia replied. "You never listened." The man handed her a final document. Thick paper. Official seals. Her name printed clearly at the top. Inheritance total, $47 million. Sophia stared at the number. It didn't feel real. Money had ruled her suffering for years. Lack of it. Fear of it. And now it meant something else. Freedom. "Your grandmother left everything to you," the man said. "She said this was not a gift. It was justice." Daniel reached out, his hand shaking. "Sophia, please. We can talk about this." She stepped back. 7 years ago, he had watched her pack one suitcase. 7 years ago, he had closed the door behind her. Now, he stood on the street with nothing to offer her. "You told me I was nothing," she said softly. "You said I'd beg." She met his eyes. "I survived without you." Daniel swallowed hard. "I didn't know," he whispered. "You chose not to know," she replied. Behind her, the black car door opened. Not his car. Hers. The driver waited respectfully. Sophia turned toward it. Her steps were slow, steady. Each one felt like she was leaving a piece of pain behind. Daniel called her name one last time. She didn't turn. Because revenge didn't need shouting. It didn't need anger. It only needed truth, and walking away with it.